The information shared on this program is for general informational purposes only. It is not intended as legal, tax, investment, or other professional advice, nor as a recommendation of any specific investment product or financial instrument. Always consult your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant regarding your own situation. All client reviews or spotlight segments are unpaid testimonials from current clients of Tony Walker Financial. Individual experiences will vary, are not representative of all clients, and are not a guarantee of future results or success.
There's an old saying by the legendary showman P.T. Barnum, and it goes something like this: there's a sucker born every minute. My thoughts, you just don't want to be one of them.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money. The Worry-Free Retirement with your host, six-time author and fiduciary, Tony Walker.
You know, one of the things that concerns me right now as we record this show in 2026 is the number of people out in the financial world peddling their wares. And that would include us. In fact, years ago, we were trying to figure out in our Louisville office there at 8303 Shelbyville Road just how many advisors or insurance agents were located within a 5-mile radius of our offices there in Louisville. And much to my surprise, there are over currently 2,000 insurance agents and or financial advisors just within a 5-mile radius of our office, again, at 8303 Shelbyville Road, which incidentally, for those who want to know, is just down the street from Oxmoor Mall there. So that means, while there's probably a ton of good advisors out there, I'm not trying to disparage our industry, but the potential for getting suckered by one of these advisors or insurance agents peddling their wares, as P.T. Barnum once said, is very high. So how, as a saver, do you guard against being suckered? How do you know if the person you're talking with is, number one, acting in your best interest? How do you know that person is going to disclose all of the pros and the cons of the particular investments they're pitching to you? And here's the main part. If you are in retirement age or nearing retirement, if you don't have a game plan, how in the world are you going to know whether the products you're getting ready to purchase or invest in are right for you? Well, here's the bad news, folks. If you don't have a game plan, if you're not working with a trained fiduciary in the art of retirement planning, there's a good chance you could be suckered. And let's not let that happen. Folks, what you're getting ready to do in terms of investing your life savings for retirement could be arguably one of the biggest financial decisions you're ever going to make, and that's who are you going to trust with your life savings, not just when you retire, but years and years down the road, which is the topic of today's show. And when I come back, one of the biggest concerns I have is a product I've sold for years, but this product, in my opinion, is being misled in terms of how it's being sold, and I'm afraid there's going to be some suckers out there who buy into this pitch and wish they hadn't. I'm Tony Walker. You're listening to the Worry-Free Retirement. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Well, the Tony Walker Financial 5-star reviews keep rolling in, and this one comes from Mark S. When I called Tony Walker, he personally returned my call and listened to my needs. We scheduled an office visit where he reviewed my mailbox income and made me feel very confident about my future retirement. He discussed my transfer of accounts for a tax-free transition. I didn't pay a dime for the office visit, which was shocking. And now I get my statements mailed to me, showing me my profits and their costs for investments. I highly recommend Tony Walker for your future retirement plans. To read Mark's review and many other 5-star reviews, just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Are you retired, retiring soon, or possibly faced with your company closing its doors forever? If so, take advantage of this opportunity to roll your 401k into something we call mailbox money.
Mailbox money!
For years, clients of Tony Walker Financial have enjoyed mailbox money, and now you can too by logging on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call 877-499-9255. Let us help you today.
Mailbox Money is a reference to guaranteed lifetime annuity payments backed solely by the issuing insurer's claims-paying ability.
Our mission statement moment today comes to us from our own Heather Hughes in our Bowling Green office. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning, Tony.
And you meet and talk to a ton of people, but I would have to say, if I can kind of force feed this one on you, I had someone call from the old days of the TV show, watched it forever. They lived pretty far away, so they'd driven to the Bowling Green office, and they decided to do business with us. And then, of course, I brought you in because you handle all the new business. But what would you say about where they were and how scattered they were and what was going on in the family? They even had, I think, their daughter with them at the time, but just how well we were able to take care of their needs.
I think it's all comes down to seasons of life. With the case that you were particularly alluding to just now, older couple, unfortunately, one of them was suffering from some dementia, and the other spouse was trying to get everything organized, and she was struggling a little bit, and she did bring her adult daughter with her, and also just trying to get everything together. They had accounts in different places, and it's just a lot to track when you're dealing with a spouse that has an illness and you're getting older and that type of thing. So for them to be able to come to us, and we put all of their accounts under one roof so we can oversee that for them and take that burden off of them, I think is a very powerful tool of something that we can do with a lot of compassion and heart.
Very well said. And even, I think they were, not that you should always bring your children along, but I thought it was interesting they brought their adult child and the connection I think we had with them, and now she understands what they're doing. Some of my concerns, which people trust us a lot with their money, but the adult children, we never meet them. So a lot of times we handle all this money and move it over, and then eventually our clients might pass away. They're seniors, and we finally meet the adult children. So speak to the fact that we're fine if people want to bring their adult children to these meetings to get to know us as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, that's another season I think a lot of us have gone through where you start taking care of your parents. And to know that your parents are being taken care of financially, as far as somebody helping them with their finances, and you trust those people as well, it's, gives the daughter peace of mind as well. It's a nice benefit for them to say, okay, I know where, if anything happens to my parents, I know who I need to speak with. I've met them. I trust them, and know that we would, upon their passing, that we're there for them as well to help with all the claim paperwork and anything that they may need.
Stay tuned for more Mission Statement Moments. You're listening to The Worry-Free Retirement with Tony Walker.
Hey folks, Tony Walker with a quick hitter here. We get questions all the time about retirement, and we're happy to answer those. Some people go to the website at TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Some people simply call us. That number's 877-499-9255. But here's a newbie. I love this. If you have a question for me, Tony Walker, why don't you just text it to me? Let me give you that number right now. The text number for questions for Tony is 502-429-3416. Let me repeat that. Text Tony your question on retirement, whether you're retired or nearing retirement, 502-429-3416.
One of the concerns I have for maybe someone getting suckered is the fact that more and more savers, particularly baby boomers, are retiring, or at least they're getting to a point in their career that they can roll over that 401k to an IRA. Now, generally, when you move a 401k to an IRA, generally, not in all cases, but you're probably going to seek out an advisor, usually an independent advisor, an advisor that works for a big company. It could be an insurance agent peddling annuities, whatever it might be. But the facts remains, this article talks about this. In fact, came out in Retirement Planning Magazine. This article dated June 3rd, 2026, entitled IRA Ownership Climbs as Rollovers Drive Retirement Savings Growth. Again, trillions of dollars are moving literally out of 401ks into these IRAs. This particular survey, in fact, found that 44% of U.S. households owned IRAs, with traditional IRAs remaining widely at around 32% of those households, or 43 million people. So you got millions of people who now are having to either blindly trust someone with their 401k by rolling it into an IRA. Maybe they're handling it on their own. Or again, since they're retiring, they're just finding anybody they can, whether it's a dinner seminar, radio shows like this, whatever. But the point is, it's going to be very, very easy for someone to get suckered, because most people I meet, most savers I work with, when they come out of these 401ks, they really don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand the tax ramifications. They don't understand when to take Social Security. There's so many things that go into the decision of rolling a 401k to an IRA. And that's where we come in at Tony Walker Financial. For years, we have worked with literally hundreds and hundreds of rollovers from 401ks to IRAs. And maybe that's you right now. You could have either an old 401k at a previous employer. Maybe you're over the age of 59 and a half, and even though you're working, you didn't know that you could roll over that 401k now. We do a lot of that. It's called an in-service rollover. Or maybe you've got an IRA that you rolled over from a previous 401k, but either the IRA is not being serviced properly, or you're concerned that the person that now invests that IRA really doesn't understand retirement planning. And the way you would know that is if you don't have a game plan. It means they're not really doing retirement planning without that game plan. So if that's you, if you've got a 401k, maybe you're thinking about rolling it over, you're over the age of 59 and a half, you have a former 401k sitting at some employer just idly over there by, nobody watching over it, at least get a second opinion from me, Tony Walker, the owner of Tony Walker Financial. And we do this and make it very easy. This second opinion starts off with something we call the free 10-minute fiduciary phone call, where you and I will talk for a few minutes. And if I think we can help, we're going to meet in person to lay out that free proprietary game plan. So take advantage of talking to me. Just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Click on that little red button that says Talk to Tony, or call us anytime to arrange this free phone appointment. That number is 877-499-9255.
Wondering how much money you'll need to retire? Probably a lot less than you think. I'm retirement specialist Tony Walker, and I've helped thousands of savers determine when to retire and how much money they'll need in retirement, and I can help you too. To meet in person at no cost or obligation, let me invite you to log on right now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call the toll-free number at 877-499-9255. So we're in the Bowling Green office talking to Alyssa Arnott, and Alyssa's in charge of new business and annuities. And Alyssa, a lot of technology changes out there. We have to assist a lot of people that aren't as familiar with this technology. So share with us our mission statement moment.
That would be being able to walk a client through signing an app online. Some clients just aren't familiar with computers, and the applications can be a little hard to get through. But we just stay on the phone with them, walk them through, get it signed, and the feeling of accomplishment is really big for them. You can hear it in their voice. They're very happy with being able to do that.
Well, we're on the road today with Mr. Jay Barnes, and Jay's been a client some time. And first of all, Jay, how you doing today?
Hey, never better, Tony. Living the dream, as you say.
Well, it was good to see you and Susan in the office, and it prompted me to want to just kind of go down memory lane. So if you would, first of all, tell everybody what you used to do for a living and approximately how long you've been retired.
I worked with UPS. I was an executive at UPS. I worked there for 26 years. I retired when I was 59. I met with Tony early on, back in, 1998, I believe it was, when we first met. One of my fellow workers mentioned you. We were looking for somebody to help us navigate through the retirement stages of our life, how we're going to manage our money. And my friend suggested you, and you made a visit to our house. And we started talking, and we liked what we heard from you. And that's kind of how it started our relationship.
Yeah, that does bring back memories back in the day when I made house calls. So I appreciate you and Susan being so accommodating and allowing me to be of service. And it's been a good ride. It's been fun to watch you all. And I can tell you're definitely enjoying retirement.
Oh, absolutely. We're retiring it. Tony, you set us up very well. I hadn't had to worry about, the income and the way my money was being managed. Done a great job. And your worry-free retirement is rung true for us. I can tell you that. We're really enjoying it, and money is not an issue for us. So it's nice not to have that level of stress. I know a lot of people are not that fortunate and, worry about making, ends meet. And we certainly do not have that problem. And very thankful, appreciative of all your efforts in keeping us doing well.
And what would you say to somebody, Jay? I mean, you're getting to that stage now. I know you're approaching another phase of life where you got to worry about RMDs pretty soon and all that. But what would you tell somebody that maybe is a little on the younger side, like you and Susan were, that you retired, not the traditional age maybe of 65 or 67, and just wants to see if it's possible to retire and what that step would look like to go through and working with somebody like Tony Walker Financial?
Well, Tony, I tell you, when I first approached my wife, Susan, about the possibility of retiring, she was a little bit freaked out. She's, especially when I was only 59, she had a little bit trouble swallowing that. And actually, it took you laying out all my finances and showing me that, yeah, it is. You are good to go and good to retire, and convince Susan that, got her on board with it. And then I was able to pull the trigger. So you really helped me with that. And that's what I would suggest to anybody that's maybe getting where they think they want to retire, or maybe think that they're able to retire, to get with you and have you lay out and explain what you could do for them, and what your finances will probably look like, etc. You did a nice job of asking us, what our plans were, what our dreams were, etc. when we actually did retire, and would we have enough money to do that? And you laid it out very nicely for us and put a plan in place. And like you said, we're living the dream, as I like to say. You've just been a pleasure to work with. I wholly trust you and, manage our funds. You've done a great job. I'm glad that we hooked up a long time ago.
That's good. Well, Jay, thank you and Susan so much for the trust and confidence in Tony Walker Financial, and you make it a good one.
So you've worked 30 or 40 years slaving away at work so you can save away money into your 401k, and now you arrive at the biggest financial decision you're ever going to make: where to invest your 401k plan. Think about it. For all these years, you've had a steady paycheck, compliments from your employer for all of your hard work that you dedicated to them. But now, all of a sudden, you've got to figure out how to replace that paycheck with the money you've been saving. No wonder you're worried about what to do and who to trust with that money, which is why we at Tony Walker Financial are providing a brand new free service called the 10-Minute Fiduciary Phone Call. And here's how simple it is to learn more about our services and our 401k rollover process. First, just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Once there, click on the Let's Get Started button. You'll be taken to a page. Confidentially, you can fill out your information on the screen and then click below the best way for us to speak together. It could either be myself or one of our other trained fiduciaries. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Before you make a rash decision and blindly turn your money over to a complete stranger to invest, consider a name and a firm you can trust, Tony Walker Financial. And, oh, by the way, if you like, you can give us a call to speak to us at any time by phone by simply calling 877-499-9255.
Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us, "For everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven." So with each step throughout our days, shouldn't we use our resources and blessings to make each moment count? Today, Tony wraps up our Live Well, Die Broke journey with Going, Gone.
Well, our last chapter in our book, Live Well, Die Broke, is entitled Going, Gone. And what I want to preface is, again, talking about my granddad who retired from Bell South in 1978, and when he eventually passed away, his mailbox money, which the mailbox money was his pension and Social Security, it too went away. I have fond memories of spending a lot of time with my granddad and his beloved wife, Hazel.
We used to sit on the front porch of their little home in Troy, Kentucky. And I look back at the things he splurged on, and what I enjoyed most was when they came in to visit us in Lexington, we would swing by the Long John Silver's on the way out of town. It was the first Long John Silver's ever in the country, a little tiny Long John Silver's there on Southland Drive. But we would get a modest size of fish and chips or the peg legs. That's all they offered there. But man, was that fun to drive back to Troy with those peg legs and those little fish and chips loaded up and scarf those down when we got back to Troy, Kentucky. Another fun memory I think about was my first car, and that was given to me by my granddad. It was a 62 Beetle, the same car I drove my wife, now Susan, in back in high school. That was some fun times. And then we talk about the other things in life that we all enjoy. Last week I talked about the bacon my mom fixes. I've talked about people that have gone on fancy cruises that I finally talked into going first class on flights. And what we're getting at here, folks, is with money and with plans, no one can actually predict the future, which is why you better start thinking about enjoying this money now versus later. It's kind of funny. There's an old Yiddish proverb that says the following: we plan, God laughs. And I think this is so true. And it's funny how money can kind of put the hex on us that for some reason we want to keep stockpiling it and saving it for some future date. In fact, people will come in here sometimes and they're thinking about retiring and they don't feel they can retire because they've been listening to the financial world too long, and the financial world is giving you mixed messages, folks. You have to understand something. The financial world's like the foxes guarding the hen house. They don't want you to spend and enjoy this money because if you do, that means you're going to have to take it from them, and that is going to cost them money. So they are very tainted. They're very biased. They're not going to set up game plans like we do to help you use and enjoy this money. And certainly they're not going to put into place what my granddad enjoyed, which is called mailbox money.
Mailbox money!
You see, the mailbox money, folks, is what allows you to eat the better bacon, to take maybe the first class flight, to enjoy the things of life before it's too late. So again, if that's you, if you feel like, hey, Tony, I haven't really thought about this thing that life could end at any moment, maybe you do need to sit down with someone like us to lay out a game plan to help you use and enjoy this money without the fear of one day running out. In fact, in the last chapter of the book, if somebody says, well, Tony, I don't want to just die broke. I want to leave some money to my kids or grandkids. Folks, die broke doesn't mean we're literally dying broke. What it means is we recognize that death is imminent. You can't take this money with you. And certainly we can set up multiple buckets that can, number one, give you access to your money now. Number two, make sure you don't run out of money. And number three, we can show you how to give money to your kids either now or when you pass away on a tax-favorable basis. So if you really don't have an advisor, you can sit down in person, an independent fiduciary that's not beholden to any of these big box store financial companies. If you just want a relationship with somebody that's going to be here long into the future that can help you and your family enjoy this money before it's too late, we need to talk. And we've made this easy to do. We call it the free 10-minute fiduciary phone call where you and I will talk by phone for just a few minutes. And if I think I can help, we're going to meet in person. That's right, the owner of the company, someone with 42 years of experience, meeting with more than 20,000 savers, way ahead of the curve with the rest of the financial world in this whole retirement planning thing. Folks, I've been doing retirement planning more than some people have been in business. We have over 4,000 clients. I have orchestrated and overseen more than 5,000 written game plans. If you are a saver and retired or nearing retirement, you need to at least get a second opinion from somebody like us at Tony Walker Financial. So again, log on, TonyWalkerFinancial.com, click on that Talk to Tony button, or call us anytime to arrange this free phone call. That number is 877-499-9255.
To learn more about Live Well, Die Broke, visit TonyWalkerFinancial.com. While there, you can listen to the audiobook version absolutely free. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Are you retired or retiring soon? Do you have a 401k, IRA, 403b, thrift savings account, or lump sum pension that you'd like to move to safer territory? Did you know that all the money you see on your 401k statement isn't really yours? Depending on your overall taxable income, the government has essentially a lien on your 401k that can tax as much as 40% of your money when you go to take it out. Tony Walker calls this the 401k tax tumor. For over 40 years, retirement specialist Tony Walker has helped thousands of savers worry less about money by creating game plans to deal with your tax tumor. Get control of your retirement by controlling the taxes owed on it. Schedule a free meeting to see if you can reduce your tax tumor and provide a guaranteed income you can never outlive. To get started, simply log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Do you ever get the feeling that there are 1,000 channels and nothing good is on? Well, if that's you, let me tell you about the Tony Walker Financial YouTube channel, where you can learn how you can enjoy a truly worry-free retirement from a local team you can trust. Search YouTube for Tony Walker Financial, and once there, you will find resources on topics that matter most to you, like Social Security, annuities, 401ks. You can even search for specific topics to find the answers and information you're looking for. Make sure to subscribe and click the bell to be reminded when new videos are available. You can also visit TonyWalkerFinancial.com and click the Talk to Tony button to submit your own questions to Tony or to schedule your free 10-minute fiduciary phone call with Tony himself. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com, your local trusted resource for retirement planning.
You know, I love reading Scripture and doing my best, and hopefully with God's help, to tie it back to the book title and to the concept of the book I wrote called Live Well, Die Broke. And this is something I've been working on for years, sharing with people this idea of working with thousands of savers, realizing that over the years, the biggest problem I've seen with stockpiling money, whether it's in 401ks or wherever, is that most people wait way too long to use and enjoy their money. And since I've been espousing this philosophy for years, that is the Live Well, Die Broke philosophy, many folks in the financial world are now starting to come on board. In fact, there's been many other books in the last couple of years dealing with this same concept of using and enjoying your money before it's too late. But back to the biblical concept of this and how true it is in the end that we do all die broke, meaning we can't take this stuff with us. So for those of you who enjoy reading Scripture and trying to tie it back to what the Bible has to say about money, let's take a look at 1 Timothy 6:17. And it basically reminds those who are rich in this present world not to be conceited, or, here's the key, fix their hope on the uncertainty of riches. Can anybody say the Dow Jones Industrial at 50,000? But basically, anybody, we all need to understand that we cannot focus our hope on the future things of riches, but instead, the goal here of 1 Timothy is to remind us to focus the riches that God has bestowed upon us, that is, our faith. And here's the key verse. For those of you who are worried about the future, maybe for those of you who feel like you don't have enough money or you're worried about the future and even just covering your bills, I mean, there is a lot of concern out there with inflation and gas prices and just the future of the job market, that this verse concludes that we must focus on God, who is there to richly supply all that we need to enjoy. And therein, folks, lies the key to contentment. And, of course, to using your money. Now, for those of you who are trying to follow a biblical path with your money in life, folks, this money, remember, is nothing more than a commodity. It is simply a gift created by God through man for us to enjoy. That's all it is. There is nothing sacred about this money. So if you feel like you're not enjoying this money, or maybe you feel like the financial world is continually putting you on the guilt trip gospel and won't let you spend it, then we need to talk. We've made this so easy to do. In fact, my name is Tony Walker, owner of Tony Walker Financial, and you can talk to me personally through a phone call. We call this the free 10-minute fiduciary phone call. All you got to do to take advantage of this free phone call with me is log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, click on that little red Talk to Tony button, and we'll arrange that phone call. Or if you'd rather just have a phone call to us to arrange this, just simply call us at 877-499-9255. Well, folks, that's all the time we have today. But you remember, between now and next week, if all else fails, you be worry-free and you make it a good one.